Hi guys, so today I'm going to be changing my set out. As you can see, I have some growth here and I want to do a fill, but I also want to change the design. Honestly, you could leave this a little bit longer. I don't have any lifting, so there's no need for me to change this other than I'm just kind of tired of it. But what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be using acrylic and gel. So one of the things that I personally think that acrylic does better is glitter mixes. And for me, it's easier to use acrylic when I'm doing tips. That's one of the things that I personally like acrylic better for. So that's what I'm going to be doing today, and then I'm going to cover the whole thing in gel. So I'm using this beautiful mix that I got in Vianney Lou's Swap, and this is called Corn Snake, and it's by Angel Otter X. And then it's just a really pretty orange and red and white glitter mix, which I thought would be really pretty with the holidays coming up in the fall. So I'm just going to take a scoop of that in this nail here, and I'm just going to put that into my dough. A little goes a long way with glitter mixes, so you don't need to mix a ton, but that's up to you. And then I'm just going to take some clear acrylic powder, and I'm using Diva DC, but you can use whatever brand you have. And I'm just going to take a scoopful of that and then mix that up. So for this one, I'm doing pretty equal amounts glitter to acrylic. But you can add more acrylic if you want to dilute it a little bit. I want it to be pretty opaque when I'm doing my tip, so that's why I did equal parts. So I'm going to go ahead and start prepping my nails. So what I need to do obviously is I need to get rid of the gel polish that's on here, and I need to get rid of my rhinestones. So all I'm going to do that, so I'm just going to use a pair of nippers, and I'm just going to go in and start popping off the stones. You don't have to do this. You could just use a file or an e-file to start working the stones down, but these ones here are real crystals, so they're a little harder to file down, which is why I'm popping them off, but that's up to you. And then I attached these with gel, so they're on there pretty good. So once you've got your stones off, all you're going to do is file off the gel polish, and I'm going to go ahead and do that with an e-file, but you could use a hand file like this one. So I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera. If you need to see in more detail how to do that, you can go back to my last gel video. I'll link it down below for you guys. Alright guys, so I've gone ahead and taken most of the gel down on my nails, and then if you see, I've just taken off a lot of the volume, so they're really thin. And that's what I'm going to build the acrylic onto. But first thing you need to do is you need to prep your nails just like any other fill. So you're going to want to blend the area from the gel to your nails, and you want to do that by filing the gel. And you're just going to do that real soft, and you're just softening that transition. And I'm not filing my natural nail, I'm just sticking to the gel itself, trying to blend that transition. Okay, once you have that done, you're just going to need to clean up around your cuticle. If you have a cuticle pusher, you can push that back. You need to clear up any dead skin that you might have. So I'm using a pumice stone, and this one's wet. And I'm just going to go in. What I'm doing is I'm using the corner of the pumice stone to clean up my sidewalls here and around the cuticle. And I only need to do this where my new growth has come in. And then I'm going to go ahead and do that to all the nails. Alright, so once you've got your nail completely prepped, you can go ahead and start applying your acrylic. So for this design, I'm just going to be putting acrylic on the tip, and the rest of the nail is going to be gel. So once you've got your smile line done and the acrylic in place where you want it, you can just go ahead and do that to all the nails. Once the acrylics had time to completely dry, you're just going to go in and add your dehydrator. I'm using ASP Prep and Clean Dehydrator. And then you're going to go in with your primer. I'm using Something Wonderful Primer by Nailite. And you can pick that up at nailiteinc.com. Now what I like to do when I'm working with tips is I like to fill in the gap that's in between the smile line. So my first ball, I'm just going to use a medium-sized ball of gel, and I'm going to place that right there. And I'm going to bring that up to cover up the tip, just in case any of that glitter wants to come loose on the nail. And then I'm just going to float that forward and cap the end. Now, so for our second ball of gel, we're going to get a larger ball. And I forgot to mention, the gel I'm using today is the Cena brand, and I'm using clear. And this is a builder gel. So I'm going to grab a larger ball of gel, and I'm going to place that in the center of the nail, because that's where I want most of the volume of it. And then I'm going to use my brush to walk the gel back, or to float it back towards the cuticle, and I'm making sure not to touch the cuticle. And then I'm going to go down to the sidewalls, again not touching the sidewalls. And I'm just going to bring that gel forward, but I'm making sure to keep the majority of it in the center. And I'm still walking it forward and making sure I have the sides. And then I'm just going to flip the entire nail over just to give it a nice dome shape. Once I have the shape that I want with the gel, I'm going to go ahead and pop it in the light. Once that's cured for the last time, all you need to do is remove the dispersion layer. I'm using alcohol and a lint-free wipe. And then you're just going to go ahead and file, shape, and buff. I'm going to do that, and then I'll be right back to finish off these nails. So once you've filed, shaped, and buffed, all that's left to do is to add your favorite top coat. I'm using Axiom by OPI. I went ahead and rinsed my nails under some water just to get rid of any dust that might have been on there. And anytime you're using a UV top coat, you want to make sure again that you don't touch your sides of your... Alright guys, so here's the final look. I hope you enjoyed this video on how to change out your set and how to use acrylic with UV gel. So all that's left to do is just to add your favorite cuticle oil. And you're done. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and leave them down below. And as always, thank you guys for watching.